It's raining, and my camera's getting wet. Let's go find some salamanders. Alright guys, I am sitting in the car right now talking to you because it is pissing down rain outside. This week has just been absolutely awful. I have not seen anything. I still have not seen a single snake in the entire month of November. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to go out and walk around and see if we can find some salamanders. It's decently warm outside. It's about 60 degrees, so should at the very least be good for a couple salamanders, but maybe we'll see a snake or two too. So I'll keep you guys posted on how this goes. Alright, into the rain we go. Alright guys, first herp in the driveway still. A little American bullfrog, species number 1 for the night. I'm hoping we'll at least see 6 or 7 species tonight, and hopefully as high as 10 to 12, so let's see how this goes. Alright guys, still in the driveway, but here is species number 2 for the night, a spring peeper. These guys are going to become increasingly common as we move into the winter months, and they'll start their breeding calls in maybe around early January, mid-January, and eventually they'll disappear again once we start getting into the warmer months. So definitely one of the winter classic species we see here in Georgia, and second species of the night. So I'm going to move him out of my driveway and keep walking. Alright guys, first living salamander of the night. There's been a lot of dead ones, but this little northern slimy salamander right here is the first living salamander we've seen. Herp species number 3 for the night, alive. I actually just saw a dead ringneck snake, so there were some snakes out here tonight. Let's see if I can get a closer look at this guy. Anyways, one of the more common salamanders on these warmer nights here, so I'm just going to usher this guy off the road and keep herping. Alright, so while I was recording this first slimy, Caitlin spotted another one. Similar size, just up the road. Hey buddy. There is a salamander slurper right there, also known as the Virginia possum. This guy was in the road eating a dead salamander, and we spooked him up this tree. Sounds like Caitlin has found something up ahead. Got something? A what? Another peeper. Nice. So definitely plenty of these guys out. Alright guys, next find of the night is one of our smallest native salamanders. This is a roughly year-old four-toed salamander. This area right here by my house produces tons of these guys in the winter, and this will definitely not be the only one you guys see over the course of the next couple weeks, but definitely one of our more unique salamanders. Are the only species in their genus, Hemidactylium, in the entire world. And actually there's a dead one right here beside him that I just noticed, but they're pretty thick through here. The same can't be said for a lot of the parts of their weird spotty range. They have pretty patchy distribution, not only in Georgia, but throughout the United States. But I'm just going to get this guy to the road and keep walking. Maybe we'll find an adult. I'm going to put my finger down next to him so you guys can see just how big he is.
Want me to do it?
Yeah. So that's about a yearling. And the adults are maybe about 2 times that big. Maybe 1.5 times, but... Alright, next salamander right up the road from the FourToad is this marbled salamander trying to hide under a leaf. That's like trying to pick a salamander up off the road to move them. They just stick. Anyways, this is definitely one of the species that I was hoping to see tonight. They're one of the more attractive salamanders we have here in the United States, with that beautiful black and silver, black and white contrasty coloration they have. And one of the highlights of fall herping in the United States. These guys are one of our relatively few fall breeding salamanders. Anyways, I'm going to get this attractive little male marbled salamander out of the road. You can tell this is a male and not a female because of how vibrant his white is, among other things. The females are generally a duller and less striking overall coloration than the males, so move him out of the road and keep moving. Alright guys, so here's FourToad number 1. Actually, this is the second FourToad of the night, but there's one there. There's another one here. There's one over here. Where's this one at?
There.
No, it's not him. Right there. 3 right here together. And then there is
That one.
4 right here. A lot of these guys right here in this little stretch of road. Alright guys, here's a look at 2 of these 4-toed salamanders sitting on a leaf here, so you can see just how small they are. And once again, these are only yearlings, about half-grown 4-toed salamanders. So we're going to move these guys out of the road. So that marbled salamander was our 5th living species of the night, and I just saw a DOR red-bellied snake, so there's been a couple of snakes moving tonight for sure. That's not a snake. That's a large earthworm. Here is our first live spotted salamander of the night, species number 6. As you can see, this guy's tail has been messed up a bit from getting run over by a car, but thankfully it looks like he's going to be alright otherwise. So, as you can see, he'll run away. And as long as he's got that instinct still, he should be okay. So, hopefully this little guy's tail will heal up nicely. Salamanders actually are known for having incredible regenerative abilities, so I'm going to make sure this guy gets far away from the road and wish him the best. Alright guys, our next salamander of the night is this little two-line salamander, and species number 7 alive. This guy is a little male two-line salamander. You can tell because he's got those little danglies hanging from his chin known as cirri. That's where they get their scientific name, Eurycia cerigera. They use those for picking up pheromones of female two-line salamanders. As they walk along, they'll rub them against the ground, and they're basically like a sensory organ that is pretty much exclusively used for mating, so that's pretty cool. We're going to help this little guy across the road, and hopefully he'll be able to find a mate. Alright guys, here is species number 8 for the night, a green frog. My camera is on 3%, so I'm probably going to have to leave you with a look at this guy. Now, you can tell him apart from the bullfrog by those 2 sets of lines that you can see coming from the back of the head. Those are known as the dorsolateral folds. So anyway, species number 8 for the night. I'm going to leave this guy right here, and I will see you guys in the morning, hopefully. I'm going to hike around a little bit and try to find some snakes. What is up, everybody? Happy Friday. I am out here hiking around by the house a little bit before work today, and decided to run some video in the event that it turns out to be any good. But today is a little on the cool side. The high temperature's in the high 50s, so right now it's about 53 degrees. Anyways, a lot of people might think that's a little too cool for snakes, but generally days like today can be very good for finding basking snakes because the temperature rises to the point that they'll come out and bask, but they won't move far from where they're hibernating. So I'm hoping to find some stuff coiled up outside of where it's hibernating and be able to get some in situ photos, etc. If it goes well, then you will see this. If it doesn't, then you probably won't, because this video is going to be miserably slow as it is. So you're not going to want to see one more day of me failing at finding snakes this week. This week has been ridiculously tough. Definitely the hardest week of the year so far, even including the early spring and winter months. Just overall, I think because fall is a harder time of year to herp here than even winter and spring. It had been so dry here until recently that these pools had completely dried up. But thankfully they're full of water now, and this will eventually become breeding ground for several species of amphibian over the course of the winter and into early spring. So good to see this is already up. Well, I nearly stepped on him, but there's my first snake of November. A little black racer basking right there. I will take it. 53 degrees. And pretty much cloudy. The sun's peeking through a little bit, but it's a snake. So there's a stump hole right there, and I'm assuming that this little guy is probably overwintering in there and just crawled out to this edge right here to bask. Southern black racer. Alright, well this little guy is cold to the touch, but otherwise he is a healthy little yearling or hatchling southern black racer. This guy probably came out of the egg back in August or September. Has got a couple meals in him and is growing pretty nicely, so guessing he was out this morning just trying to catch some rays before we get some really cold weather coming this week. So I'm gonna let this guy go back by his stump hole, and wish him the best of luck surviving his first winter. This guy will probably be solid black by this time next year, I'd guess. They go through a pretty rapid color change. It's known as an ontogenetic color change, where they change color as they mature. They go from this speckled pattern, kind of blotchy, to they will be solid black as adults, except for that little patch of white on the chin. That will stay. Alrighty, I'm going to put this guy right here, a little closer to his stump hole, and wish him the best of luck. I'm guessing he'll probably come back out and bask. Anyways, I'm going to keep walking this power line edge and see if I can turn anything else up. It's him. Hello, brother. How's your morning forage going? Oh, uh-oh. To tread lightly as to not alert him to my presence. I think he knows. Yep, he knows.